Hi everyone, this is Christy with the Element Bath and Body here in Dallas, and I wanted to welcome the new subscribers and say welcome back to the returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much. In today's video, we will be going over how to figure out what label size you should use for the containers that you're using for your products. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the video. So how do we figure out what size label we need? First things first, you need to figure out the height of your jar. So we're going to get our trusty ruler. And so we want to measure about a quarter to a half inch away from each edge. So that's looking at about a 2.5 inch label. That's a 2.5 inch marking there. We know we need 2.5 inches tall. We also have to consider the wraparound. We don't really know how much we need for that. If you have a sewing ruler, those little seamstress rulers that are flexible and you can wrap around, that's one way to do it. But the easiest way to get going, if you don't have that, is to just get a standard sheet of paper, a regular sheet of paper, and I hold one end and wrap it around. So there's a big gap there. You can decide if that will be enough space, depending on the size of the container. If that's enough space to put whatever information you need to put, then you can go with that. If you want something that covers a little bit more and closes around itself, you will need to turn the paper landscape and do your measurement again. And so that will wrap and close around itself. I need it to be 8.5 inches wide by, that's awful, by 2.5 inches tall. To get a decent idea of what that label will actually look like on your jar, we can just measure that out real quick. The sheet of paper is 8.5 inches wide, so we don't have to do any measurement there. We just need to mark 2.5 inches down from the top. It's okay if it's slightly off, just a little bit. So now we take our template that we just cut out and we wrap it around. So now that we have it on the jar, so this is the back, this is going to be center front, about right here. So then you look at, well, how much space do I have on the front that people don't have to turn to read it? So you can make marks here and about right there. So that can be your front panel, and then these can be your sides. It's not completely even, but you get the picture. So then when we lay it out, we already have a pretty good idea of where we need to design our label. So we're going to measure this, and then I'm going to flip it over and actually center it, because that's going to bother me. Oh, centimeters. I need inches. Okay, so we have about a 2.5 inch wide area that we can use to design the front of our label. So I need a 2.5 inch area. So the easiest way to find the center of this template, fold it in half. You're gonna go to the side that I haven't written on. That's your center. 2.5. We just need to be in the middle. So 1.25. I know it's measuring. I'm sorry. So we have 2.5. Sorry, had to change pens. That one finally died, but I've had it for years. All right, so this is the front of our label. The label that I've designed for my actual product. This is from Online Labels. It is clear gloss laser label paper. And it comes, there's an edge, so you can't design right to the edge of the 8.5-inch paper. There is about a 1/4 of an inch there, but that's still more than enough room for what I'm trying to do. So peel the label off, and the way I do mine, I just have to visually, you want to wipe down your containers, you don't have all this gunk on it because the labels don't stick as well. I place it in the middle, and then I rub out instead of rolling around, because when I try to roll from one end to the other, it skews. It's still skewed a little bit, but fortunately this is a clear label so you can't really see it. So I have ingredients over here, my social media stuff, logo, company name, product, what the product is, the fragrance, the weight, and then over here I have directions and other contact information. So you can lay this out however you want. If you like more graphics, again, I like really clean, plain, boring, if you will, graphics. The product speaks for itself. I don't need the label to scream at you. So, and this is why you need to clean your containers before you put labels, because there's a little pock mark there where there was some dust trapped under there, and now there's an air bubble that won't go away. And you have to decide which label works for you. What I have learned over the years is try to multi-purpose my labels so that I'm not having to keep ordering 16 different label sizes. For example, the 8-ounce lotion or 7.5-ounce lotion and the 1.5-ounce lotion, these both have the same exact label on them. It is a 4-inch by 2-inch label. It's just that I oriented this one in portrait, and I oriented this one in landscape. So it wraps around. I still have that little gap. This one, I just used 2 labels. I do not have a size that wraps around that's cost effective like this one is, because I get these in bulk from Uline. So it made more sense financially for me to just use 2 separate labels. These are the label suppliers that I typically order from. I use Uline for the labels that I know I'm going to use a lot of. I use the 4x2 clear frosted labels quite a bit, so I started ordering those from Uline because I can get them in bulk. There is a difference in texture or appearance. They're both smooth to the touch, but as you can see, the Uline clear frosted label has texture present versus Avery and Online Labels, which has a smooth appearance. It is still clear frosted laser label, but it's not textured like that. So I don't mind this with my lotions and other opaque things that are in clear bottles, but I do like this look better for my oils. So we go to Uline products, labels, laser labels. I have a laser machine. Make sure you are purchasing labels for your particular machine. If you have an inkjet, then Uline may not be a good option for you. You may need to go to Online Labels. So my main supplier is onlinelabels.com, because you can buy 1 sheet at a time. You can buy 100 sheets at a time. It is entirely up to you. And if you're trying to play with different types of paper, clear, matte, glossy, weatherproof, that's a way to play with those to see how they work on your containers without having to buy a whole $20 or $30 pack of labels just to test it out. So the example we used was a blank label on a sheet. It's a rectangle size and it's 8.5 by 2.5. I already filled that all that in. And it says show me 4 label sizes. It's going to show you things that are close in size and then things that are exact. So the things we have that are exact are, we have an 8.5 by 2.5. I actually do an 8 by 2.5 because I like to have that extra cushion because your printer doesn't print to the edge anyway. So we choose this sheet. Blank labels, we're going to choose the material. For the scrubs, I like to use a clear gloss laser paper. And regardless of what you are getting, always make sure that it matches to the type of printer that you have. So we need clear gloss for laser. And then again, the reason I love this site, you can choose 1 sheet, you can choose 100 sheets. If I choose 100 sheets, that's $58
which is really good for 400 labels. And just like most companies, the more you buy, the less you pay per sheet. But you could do 10 sheets. I have done that several times when money was just really low, waiting on payments to come in. So that's what I like about online labels. That was an intro into figuring out what size labels you need and how to find them on those websites. I probably will go into more depth with using the template designers for the label companies, but that would take up way too much time on this particular video. So I will catch you all on the other side. Peace.